Hello, hello! This is Sylvia Verbena, coming to you today through my inner thoughts. It's currently May, which means it's time for the art event, MerMay, where you draw a bunch of mermaids and other merfolk. I decided that for my MerMay project, I'm going to draw various Vtubers as mermaids, starting first with turning big cat Raora into a big fish, Raaoo! I was struggling a little bit with poses in the beginning. The vision was trying to get her in that cat girl nya pose with her hands, but we'll see how well that turned out. Finally, I got a pose that I feel pretty happy with. And, of course, I have to include the chatini. For her tail, I loosely based the shape off of a leopard shark. Don't worry, there'll be spots on it later. For her top, I was also loosely inspired by her 3-day birthday concert that happened recently. Hands are, of course, always the enemy, so I spent quite a bit of time trying to tweak them and make them look okay. I turned the sketch pink and started on line art, adjusting some things here and there that I wanted to improve. I saw an art tip recently where supposedly if you turn the opacity down on your line art layer, it'll make you less likely to constantly redo your strokes trying to achieve the perfect line. I struggle with line art, so I gave this a try and I think it works, but I'll have to test it more with other drawings. Finally, I've committed to these hands, and then I made her hair a little fluffier and added some goggles. I don't always do the grayscale fill-in method when I color, especially since part of my joy in art is hand coloring and stuff, but I decided to do that to help keep things a little cleaner. It's a tiny detail, but I really had fun coloring the eyes and putting that red makeup around it. Overall, I color-picked references so I could try to be as accurate as possible while tweaking things, of course, for this mermaid version. I also really liked coloring in her blush and rendering her face a little. I added in her tail spots finally, and then it was time to start adding in some volume to the hair. In hindsight, the whole color was a little bit too light, so that's why I later ended up going back into certain areas with a darker sweep. I didn't add too much rendering onto her outfit, as I wanted the focus to be more on her fun personality and playfulness. When I mostly finished with Raora, I went over the chatini and started coloring in some bits and bobs. I added in some textures for the fluffiness, but I wanted it to be very subtle. Again, like with Raora, I had a fun time coloring in the eyes. Chatini is also a mermaid now, so I took some liberties turning the cat tail into a fishy one. Originally, I wasn't going to include a background, but then I realized I didn't want her floating in the void. After some gradients, I used a Gaussian blur tutorial to create those sun rays in the water and a free brush to give a little bit of that water reflection. And there we go, all done! Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye-bye!